Hey guys, what's happening? I just wanted to do a quick video. So we did a podcast with Caylee Mastin. Julie's daughter, Caylee Mastin, committed suicide 2 years ago. Coming up at Milford High School is the graduation. They said, hey, we'll put her name in there and we'll give you an honorary diploma. And the family said, hey, we'd like to have a chair that's sitting there that's vacant. Basically, it's the chair that Caylee would have had. Milford School said no. Milford School said, hey, we don't do that. It's against policy. It's against what we don't glorify suicide. Nobody's glorifying. We're remembering her. She died in a car wreck. They've done it. They've had chairs to remember people. People died in fires across the country. That people have remembered that. It's a tragedy. It's not something that was ever planned, something ever had been done. Well, last night at the Union Township Trustee meeting, Joe Dills stepped up. Joe Dills took an opportunity to say, hey, this is how it should be done. We should have a chair. Take a look at this clip. This is very interesting. It's a follow-up, and there's part 2 and part 3 coming. Right now, I'm proud of you, Joe. I'm proud of you. There's people standing up for people like Caylee and people like Julie. That's what we need in this country. Thank you for standing up. We're with you. See you guys.
High school. You know, this came to me. I didn't go to it. It fell in my lap, and I had quite a few people bring it up to me, and then it pulled on my heartstrings, and I wanted to talk about it. So there was a young lady, and she passed away 2 years ago. Took her own life. She was a sophomore in high school. Her name was Caylee Mastin, and Milford's doing a good job, but they're not doing a great job. And keep in mind, I'm a Milford Eagle. I graduated from Milford. I played varsity soccer, wrestled, and I spent several years on the Milford Marketing DECA Advisory Board for several years and sponsored students. So I support Milford, but I feel like they are dropping the ball here. And so what happened was they are allowing. They're going to give a diploma, an honorary diploma, to her mother and her family, and then they're also going to read off her name and put her name in the book. But that's it. And her mother and family is requesting that a chair be placed where she would sit at, with perhaps maybe a picture. And Milford won't do it. They're not budging on it. And so this was brought to my attention, and I dove into it quite a bit. And I met with Superintendent John Spicer and talked to him, and great guy. We had great dialogue back and forth. He was very open to discussion, even though we're on opposite ends of this decision. But he's not budging. He won't do it. And I personally think it's wrong. I do. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And his argument is that according to doctors and counselors, that it'll cause more grief and pain for the students and the families to see an empty chair there than it would do good. And I strongly disagree. And I would say, has there been any studies done on the good that it does? I think it gives closure. I think it, and so I had, and there's also a petition going around, and there's almost 6,500 signatures in support of this mother, allowing her to have a chair for her little girl for graduation next month. So I had talked to a few people that I consider mentors and my elders, and to get their advice. And they all agree with me. They think that the Milford Schools is in the wrong, and I completely agree with this. And so, and then I talked to my sophomore. I've got a sophomore in high school, my daughter Sydney, and I had a very adult-like conversation with her. And I told her the situation, and I said, what would you want your dad to do if you're in the same situation? And she said she would want the chair there to honor her. And I'm like, well, do you want me to make some noise about this and draw attention to it? And she's like, yeah, absolutely, I think you should, Dad. And I'm like, there might be some haters out there, and I might get some negative PR on it. Are you sure? And she's like, it's worth it. It's a good cause, and I think you should. So with that being said, I don't know how many people watch these township meetings, but this is me doing just that. And you might say, well, you're a trustee for Union Township, stay in your lane and let the schools handle it. And maybe you're right. I thought about that too, but as far as I know, no one from Milford City Council, no one from Miami Township, and no one from the Milford School Boards is saying anything. So this is me doing just that. And not only did I go to Milford, but some of Milford is in our district. You got Polo Fields and Terrace Ridge. And so This is me doing just that, and if anybody disagrees with me, it's okay. I understand the disagreement part of it, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. And if no one else wants to stand up for this mom, then it will be just me. But that's my personal opinion, and I think Milford Schools is dropping the ball, and I think hopefully this puts pressure on schools to have a policy to allow this if the family wants to allow this. And so the good thing is I talked to the mom, Julie, and I said, hey, good things can happen out of bad situations. So hopefully this puts schools on notice to have a policy to, if a family wants to have certain things done, that they allow it. And I understand the buck has to stop somewhere, but still, I think that this little girl made a tragic mistake. She didn't know what she was doing. Beautiful girl, played soccer, AP courses in high school, and personally, I don't think it's a big deal. And I think it would be a great way to have closure for a lot of people. And so, just my personal opinion. And gentlemen, I don't expect you to comment on that because I came out of nowhere. But that is my soapbox, sir. That's all I have.
Or any type of resolution on that. I'd say a formal letter. I'd say something. I'd say resolution and place it in that chair, honoring the girl, and that's our request. That's our.
But I whatever you'd like, Mr. Chairman, because I fully support this mother, and I don't think the chair is that big of a deal. I think it brings more peace and closure than it does anything else, if you ask me. So.
Hey guys, so as you could tell from the clip that you watched, they stood up. Joe Dills introduced it. Hats off to Michael Logue. Hats off to John Becker. Interesting that people have a comment about something that the school board swears the right thing to do. 6,500 people signed and said, give him a chair. Union Township trustees said, hey, it's a proclamation, give him a chair. I'm saying out loud, give him a chair. We need to break down why this happened, guys. Why did a young girl decide to kill herself? What happened? Let's break it down, just like you do with a fire death or a military death. There's an entire investigative report. Milford High School, you need to do an investigative report if you're going to take the psychological route. But you're not trained in that, and you're not. So make sure that we're stepping where we need to step, taking care of everybody. All lives matter. See you guys.